Yeah, that is our new sign.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the second episode of our podcast. Um, it's been how many months, Jeremiah?
Maybe like 3 or 4 months since we recorded the first episode.
Anyway, this is the second episode of Young Guinness, and I'm Ifeanyi Eze. With me is
I'm Jeremiah Eseboma.
okay. So funny enough, when we did our first episode, we talked about this. We said, "Hope we don't abandon this first episode and for a long time because obviously we are very busy as well." And funnily enough, our
We
prediction
did abandon it,
is
but we are back now. So
yeah, back now. I hope it's not 3 months for the next
before the next one, in a year we'll do like 3 episodes.
Yeah, quarterly podcast.
But it won't be a bad thing if I dropping like serious gems. We'll keep people testing till the next episode.
Be like Kendrick
You
Lamar.
people no go wait for
Drop a song and
Davido
go
album
boost.
like that. Anyways, we are here now. So
So I guess I'm really happy that we are doing this, and this time around we are together, facing the camera together. So this should be a great one, and we have an interesting topic to talk about. An interesting topic, especially for the current state of our economy. Everyone is thinking about how to make money. So, and obviously the first legal way to make money is by jobs. Typically jobs, all right. And I mean, we know there are also illegal ways to make money, but we want to talk about jobs. And I'd like Jeremiah to introduce us to what our topic today is.
yeah, so today we'll be talking about traditional jobs and we'll be comparing them to like modern jobs. So firstly, what are traditional jobs? Traditional jobs are basically, should I say, they are legacy jobs. They are like the standard jobs we grew up knowing, like lawyer, doctor, teacher, um, and the likes, right? So I remember when I was small, I wanted to be a medical doctor, and but now I'm a software engineer. So that kind of like just shows the contrast. Like, so today we'll be talking about these jobs. We'll be comparing them to more modern jobs, right? Um, so I guess the first thing we're looking into is like traditional jobs, are they diminishing, right? If I do think traditional jobs are diminishing.
I mean, diminishing in what sense? Are they diminishing in terms of the number of available jobs, or are they diminishing in terms of relevance, or are they diminishing in terms of the appeal? Um, because I would say many of them have not diminished in terms of um, numbers, in terms of like just the sheer number of jobs. Because, for example, if you think about it, doctors, lawyers, the bigger the population, the bigger the need for healthcare, the bigger the need for this kind of things. And like,
Yeah, but I get you, right? But for example, let's take doctors now. The bigger the population, the bigger the need for healthcare. But if the medical infrastructures remain the same, like for example, in a country like Nigeria now, I don't think we have really like developed so much more medical infrastructures as we have developed doctors. So if the medical infrastructure, do you understand? Like the number of hospitals remain the same. So, but we are bringing out new doctors every day. So it's like that is even a less appeal. Like
okay.
now, if you are a doc, if you're get as a doctor, it's like there's a higher chance that you'll be jobless or you work in a very small hospital or you open your own pharmacy.
I get what you mean. Okay, okay. So yeah, that means I get. So I mean, that would mean that there's also the Nigerian factor to consider
Exactly.
in general. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, traditional jobs are everywhere in the world. But I mean, I think we'll start from Nigeria because we are in
We're in
Nigeria,
Nigeria.
right? So
Yeah.
in that sense, obviously, first of all, I think the appeal has gone down. I see medical doctors now that are in Web3 doing crypto.
BTC, Doctor BTC.
Exactly. So I'm making good money, and I see like I see lawyers that are not even interested in practicing for one day, right? So obviously the appeal has gone down, and I think we'll go into that. Why do we think the appeal has gone down? And I think also in terms of relevance, I would say they are still relevant, a lot of them are still relevant, but I think I think the context we're looking at it from is more like in terms of where do we what is this are these things the jobs that people actually still want to do? Are these like the happy are these things that are appealing to everyone?
Yeah, so in my opinion, I feel like they have become less and less appealing over time, right? And I mean, there are so many reasons for this, right? But some of the reasons I feel is, first of all, I feel like in terms of finance, some of these jobs don't make sense again anymore, right?
Yeah.
Unless you are in like the top 5% of
Mhm.
that of people in that profession,
Profession, yeah.
right? You are probably not going to be well paid anymore, right? Especially in a country like Nigeria. So now, I mean, when a child is in school and a child is trying to buy jam phone, he's trying to go for something that he knows that he will become rich
Yeah.
in future
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I mean, you want to come back and buy your mother a plane. So now, if you become a doctor and you are not well paid, you can't do that. So,
Yeah.
but then if you look at other jobs and you see those are the kind of things that will now drag your attention. So I feel like it has lost those kind of jobs have lost a lot of prestige because number one is money because of they are receiving less money,
Yeah.
right? That is number one. Number two, I feel like those jobs don't give the kind of flexibility that people need these days. Like, for example, these new jobs now, they have like
Maybe we
remote
need to
work.
specify some of the new jobs, what we are calling the non-traditional jobs. Maybe
Okay.
we need to just give you a little bit of like
Yeah.
examples.
Yeah, so example of non-traditional job is like tech. Like, I mean, tech is hot now, hot
Yeah.
tech.
Yeah.
So in tech, we have like software engineers, we have UI UX designers, we have digital marketers,
Product marketers,
product managers,
product
right?
managers as well.
We also have crypto. Crypto is also widely
Yeah.
these days. So we have crypto bros
Yeah.
that are making a lot of money doing forex trading.
Yeah.
What other kind of jobs? We have
Influencers, social media influencers.
we have social media influencers like these days. In short, they are the hottest people.
Exactly.
They are the hottest
Yeah.
people on the block, and they are making a lot of money, and they are getting paid in dollars.
Yeah.
You understand?
I
So,
agree.
in short, all these fields that we're mentioning now, they have so many advantages. One, they are making a lot of money. Two, they have a lot of flexibility. Like, for example, as a content creator, you don't have to wake up every morning and dress up and go to work. You
Yeah.
can choose the time you create your content. Even though if you want to make it, you still have to put a lot
A
of
lot
work
of
into it.
work,
It does
yeah.
not mean you work
will not
2
work,
times
yeah.
in a week.
Or you dropping podcast episodes like us once in 3 months.
So you still have to put. I mean, that's what they say about entrepreneurship. It's like people go into entrepreneurship because I can be my own boss, go to work anytime I like. But then when you enter entrepreneurship, you see that you are not working 7 times a week. You are working 8 days a week, and you don't even have the space. So you still have to put in the work anyway. But basically, it gives you that flexibility,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
most of them are remote work. You don't have to go to any office. That is two. Secondly, is there are jobs that are globally marketable, right? For example, if you're a software engineer, you can work for like a UK company
Yeah.
from Nigeria.
Mhm.
So
You can be earning outside of your own countries. Like you're not limited by where you're
exactly. Now you are like a global talent. It
Exactly.
basically makes you a global talent.
Yeah.
If you were a lawyer, for example, and you studied law in Nigeria, you cannot simply practice law in the UK
Yeah.
or medicine. You cannot just simply practice medicine in the UK. You probably have to write an exam and
You have to relocate as well.
relocate. Exactly, you have to relocate first. Then you
Yeah.
have to write an exam of the New York bar or whatsoever before you can
Yeah.
practice. So, but that kind of thing does not apply to all these kind of new jobs.
Yeah.
Another thing with these new jobs is like they are less dependent on certificates. Do you understand? Like if you wanted to be a doctor, you have to go to school, study medicine, graduate, do your housemanship,
Get inducted.
and then you practice your medicine. But for you to be a software engineer, you don't even have to go to school.
Yeah.
You literally don't have to have a certificate. So, and then nobody cares about your CGPA. They're like, can you do the job? If you can do the job, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So like there are a lot of advantages, and these advantages are appealing to Gen Zs.
Yeah.
And
to young people now, yeah.
And I feel like this is the reason why a lot of people are tending towards
that direction.
And I mean, we have seen people like you said earlier that go to school, study medicine, and then come out and start
I
learning
feel like I
new
mentioned
things.
medicine a lot.
Well, I mean, it's the
Okay,
easiest.
maybe let's use
It's,
engineers. Because we
it's
studied
the,
engineering.
I mean,
because-
for me,
yeah,
for me, for example,
studied
studied electrical engineering for
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 years in school, and then I came back. I did not even search for an electrical engineering job. I just went into software engineering
Yeah.
straight, right?
Yeah.
I don't even apply for any single electrical engineering job.
Yeah.
So now, if you ask, do you think that the time I spent in school has been a waste? Like, for example, lawyers that went to school and then come out and start doing blockchain. Do you think the time they spent in school has been a waste? Basically, it brings us to the question like, is school scam? Or let me phrase it well.
Yeah.
Do you think the education system we have right now is preparing students for the job market that we have right now and the changing paradigm
Yeah.
in jobs?
I would say first of all, school is not scam. Definitely not scam. I will always be grateful for going to school and the opportunity that's given me. To be honest, even my job, I got my job. Even though my job is not an electrical engineering job, but I got my job because I did well studying electrical engineering. So, and I feel like many people going to school. For many people, going to school is just beyond just the career it prepares you for. You know, the career it directly prepares you for. It's also about the other opportunities it prepares you for indirectly, right? So
Exactly.
just like you,
I feel like going to school gives you a lot of background knowledge that you need generally in life.
yeah.
Do you understand? Like when you're in school, you might think that some things you're learning are not the same,
Yeah.
are not useful, but they are really useful. For example, when we were in school studying electrical engineering, they were teaching us biology in like 100 level.
Mm-hmm.
Biology is in no way related to electrical engineering,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I feel like as a person now in life, I feel like I'm better off knowing things about biology because now I understand photosynthesis.
Yeah.
Like it teaches you things, basic things about the world. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that is the
So I
first
think we
thing
can establish here school
Yeah.
is not scam, right? And then, but then on the second question, whether it prepares you for the job market as it is right now, I would say no. The curriculums we have in schools are still very, 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 very much, related to the traditional jobs, right?
True.
And to be honest, that's okay as well. But obviously, it means that there needs to be a change in terms of when schools need to start thinking of how do we make people ready to become salesmen? How do we make people ready to become content creators? I feel like these things people should be able to study these things in school. So right now you can't really do that, right? But so someone will go to school and finish school and then start learning on his own, either via YouTube or maybe go to classes. We have other. I remember a guy that studied from photo and he had to go to a videography school and learned how to become a photographer, a videographer, and now he's a videographer making videos of events and he's really doing very, very well, right? But I mean, if he spent that time in school while in school learning those things,
5 years is not a joke.
Exactly.
If you put 5 years
into learning
learning something
that is very relevant,
you'll be hot cake now.
Exactly. So it's like in that sense we kind of don't have the infrastructure for people to actually seamlessly transition into the non-traditional jobs from school. And unfortunately that's the case right now. So it's almost as if people have to put in extra effort if they want to really go from the traditional job market, which as we said is not really as appealing as it used to be. If they want to move from there to now the non-traditional jobs, which are the appeal, which are the hot cake, the talk of the town now, then they have to actually make an effort to transition. I think the background knowledge you have in school kind of prepares you for being able to even transition, because I feel like the biggest skill to learn is the skill of learning.
Learning, exactly.
So if you know how to learn, then you can learn anything, right? So I believe school does that for you, So I think one more thing we can look into is now if we talk about this, are we now saying that people should not
Go to school.
Yeah. So you have a younger brother. I have two younger sisters. Do you, when you're advising them about their about their choices?
I mean, they're already in school. They're probably already in school, so you
yeah,
can't
but
advise them to go.
when you're talking to them, do you when you're looking at them studying in school and trying to get a degree in one course or the other, Are you looking at it and saying, hey, I think you should also think about how you can start learning some of these things, some of these skills that are going to take you away from the traditional jobs that you're actually studying for.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
Definitely, I would definitely be advising them in that line. So if I had a brother that wanted to get into school now, right, and I mean, if I would like, if you're interested in software engineering at the end of the day, just go do study software engineering in school,
yeah,
or computer science, right? Just go study that. That would be you'll be better off doing that than going to study some electrical engineering or medicine, and then later after you finish spending time again to learn that. So, but then for something like computer science and software engineering, those courses are becoming available now in schools. But for something like graphics design, or you will not see any UI UX in any Nigerian university.
Yeah.
So that you probably just have to pick maybe some other thing you're interested in and study it in school. But because I would definitely still advise anybody to go to school.
Yeah.
Go to university. Yeah, right? Because it's not just about what you will do in future, it's like it's preparing you for life generally. Yeah. Right? So I would just say pick something that is maybe some other thing you're interested in or something that's close to. For example, if you want to do UI UX, you can still go for computer science.
Yeah.
Right? Pick that, study it in school. But while you are in school, you need to also spend time learning the actual things that you want to do when you finish.
Yeah.
If you want to be a crypto bro, you need to start not using your school fees to invest in crypto. Like start learning about crypto, right? Yeah. Learning about blockchain and iWalls and attending blockchain meetups and like so that when you are done with school, you are ready. Your job market, you are ready for the job market.
Yeah. But would you say someone? I mean, I've known you for a long time now, and obviously I've seen your transition from just school to becoming a software engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've come to love it, and I know you've been obsessed with it, and it has helped you really really grow in the last couple of years. But would you say that? How did you know? For you, for example, how did you know that you were interested in software engineering, or was it just because software engineers are the big deal right now?
Let me tell you a funny story of how I knew that I needed to think of something else to start learning. Okay. Like it's not this electrical engineering that I was doing in school then. So 400 level, I did internship. I mean, you also did your internship. I did my internship at Chevron Nigeria Limited, and when I was there, I mean, I enjoyed that. And I saw that those guys that work in the oil companies, they are very well paid. Like, I mean, the dream normally is like you're studying engineering, you get with a good result, and oil company pick you. They can even come to you. I mean, back in the days, there's stories where oil company will come to your convocation. I come and say, you and you, like joining us. But
I'll be the best student.
But that is no more. Yeah. Right? So while I was in that like system, while I was in that doing my internship, I discovered that the job that I thought I'm studying to come and enter a company, the job is not there again.
Yeah.
Like those oil companies, they're not recruiting as much as they used to recruit. In short, now they're thinking of maybe even letting people go.
Yeah.
And that was like really scary for me.
Of lean, what they call the lean model, where like
keeping as small people as possible to do the job.
Yeah.
And that was really scary for me. I'm like, so I'm going to finish 6 years here.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even going to get, it's going to be very hard for me to get another company job. And I don't know anybody. Like, I don't have any connection. It's just me and myself that I know.
Yeah,
so I knew I needed to do something.
Yeah.
I needed to give myself more options. And that was how I started software engineering.
Okay. So why didn't you think of
you can see that it still boils down to what we're talking about, like the decline in traditional jobs. Like I saw that there's a decline in this. I can't put all my egg in this basket.
Yeah.
And I had to like give myself more options. So you said, why did I not think of
content creation or social media influencer or
I mean
what inspired, what made it? Obviously you've seen that this traditional career of being an engineer, electrical engineer that works in an oil company is kind of like becoming a far-fetched dream. Let's be honest. It's a sad reality, but many people who are going to study engineering, for example. I mean, we're engineers, so we know a little bit better about that. Are never going to even have the opportunity to even write an interview for an oil company in the first place. So, and which was the dream, oil companies were like the bread and butter of engineers. That was like the dream. If
Yeah,
you
that
look
was
at
why
it.
many people went to study engineering.
Exactly.
Because like I'm going to study electrical engineering, I'm going to work for Shell.
Yeah, exactly. So when you saw that that was not the case, one now made this thing. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should try software engineering.
So for me, I feel like I've always been a very analytical person. I've always been good with things like numbers,
Okay.
um, analyzing things with my head. And then again, electrical engineering is a very like calculative thing.
Yeah.
Like we always have to deal with numbers.
Yeah.
So it was really easy for me to make that choice. I
Mhm.
knew I was never going to do UI UX because those kind of things don't really appeal to me. I'll probably be a very terrible UI UX designer. I don't have an eye for design or anything like that, but
Yeah.
I have a brain for calculations. I have a brain for that kind of problem solving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it was just natural for me that okay, I was going to learn programming. But initially I didn't even know I was going to end up as a software engineer. I initially started doing like data science. I feel like we are pivoting a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's not bad. So I initially started doing data science and machine learning,
Mhm.
and I also there. I felt like the space, the data science space in Nigeria was not yet ready,
Yeah.
right? Because there was just not a lot of jobs in data science. So that was how I pivoted to software engineering. But right now, that was like years ago, a lot of years ago, right? Right now, the data science field in Nigeria is so much better. There's a lot of jobs. Like so that I won't discourage someone that is learning data science out there.
And also, we're also young and we are still figuring a lot of things out as well. So it's not. I mean, we are giving our opinions, but it's not like we are telling you what exactly you should do. But this is like we've graduated from school and we've actually been in the job market for a while now, both of us, and we've experienced different things from our friends, from ourselves, and we are kind of like giving our opinion on what we've noticed, both in school and since we left school, right? So this is not this is not a sermon. This is not like a take this and run with this, but this is like just what we've experienced and like trying to like give a context to it, and maybe someone like listen to this and be like and like relate to what we are talking about, and actually be take something away from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I think one more thing I wanted to say is playing devil's advocate, right? So I just googled what are the top paying jobs in the United States of America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since obviously we've said a lot of these limitations are also because of Nigeria, even though we also know that it's not just Nigeria. Even outside Nigeria, we have a lot of non-traditional jobs that have become a big deal, right? But still, we want to now see. I just decided to just make a quick Google search, and obviously they were calculating this based on median salary. So what that means is that you know I mean, median is a good base to look at this
Indication,
because if we go by the okay,
The
let's not
top.
go into all that. If we go by the mean and median or whatever, mean will just show us if there's a big high end,
To impact the mean.
it will skew the mean, right? So, but the median now is like a good base. So, and this was in 2016 that they made this, but they adjusted it for 2023, I think. So the number one on the list is the physicians, which are the doctors, which is a
In the
traditional
United
job.
States.
Yes, in the United States. So the doctors are still the typically the median pay is still the highest, right? So which means that if you're a doctor, I mean, what we can take away from this is that obviously what the median shows you is that this is somewhere you would likely land if you're in this profession, right? So, and I think it kind of shows like how also the non-traditional jobs could be a little bit shaky in terms of it goes by trends. When we had the bull run, all the crypto bros were balling. When we had the bear run, especially the young ones who are just getting in could get burnt really really fast, and you you could go underwater straight away. And this, so this is like, I think, I guess this can show a little bit more of like maybe the stability in this kind of maybe being a physician, being a doctor. If you're a doctor and you're a doctor for 10 years, you're likely going to be a good doctor somewhere in a good hospital, right? And you're probably going to get paid well, right?
Yeah, I can definitely agree that those non-traditional jobs or those, should I say, modern jobs are far less stable
Yeah,
than the traditional
yeah.
job. But I mean,
It doesn't mean that they're not appealing. We are just
Doesn't
saying,
mean they're not
yeah,
appealing.
it doesn't mean that they're not appealing because I mean, as it's not stable, it also means you could go from 0 to 100
to hundreds in minutes.
in a few months. So yeah, we can agree on that. And okay, the second one is lawyers, and the third one is the research and development managers, and then the fourth one is software development engineers, right? And then pharmacists, strategy manager, software architects. So beyond after the top five, really, we begin to see a lot of engineers, solutions architects, IT managers, engagement manager. These are like non-traditional jobs. Like engagement. What's engagement manager? These are like people that just manage like communications or manage things like that. You have applications development managers. We have finance managers. People like this is by Glassdoor anyway. So in general, it just shows a little bit. Just playing devil's advocate. There's a little bit of stability with it.
But
In the global scale, we're not talking about Nigeria.
I don't exactly. So like that's for the US.
Yeah.
The realities are so much different in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I believe in the US, if you study medicine, you're in a very good space.
Yeah.
I mean, Nigeria is not as if you're bad, but it's not as good as it used to be, right?
It's also very difficult to study medicine in a place like US. It's very expensive compared to Nigeria. I mean, I feel like we probably produce more medical doctors
in Nigeria,
Nigeria compared to our population.
And another thing that they are we didn't talk about the job availability. Like there are less jobs now. Like there is no those jobs are really not being created as much.
You know what's crazy? My cousin studied pharmacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was looking for an internship. Now this is the internship they do because I mean after you get your preliminary induction, you have to get now you now have to get an internship for 1 year, just like a housemanship in a hospital, and then after that, that's when you actually get your license, right? And he couldn't get an internship for a long time too, and it's almost like this is now the trend. So it was not just for him; it was like many people find it difficult to even get like you have your degree, you're a doctor now, you're a pharmacist now,
you just want to practice.
You just want to practice for 1 year so you can get your license and begin to look for a job. Look for an actual job, right? And to get the internship it's so difficult. People were asking them to bring money so they'll put their name in there, and it's like I'm thinking like if internship where you're just getting a contract for 1 year is this difficult to get, imagine actually trying to get a job as this in this profession. And it's almost like what now really happens is that we now see that many of them actually have to leave the country. All our doctors are trying to leave the country. All our pharmacists, all our nurses, because they know that out there is better for them.
Taking care of them.
But it's like I think the appeal as well, just like we said, for non-traditional jobs, software engineer is just like the global appeal. You don't need to leave Nigeria.
You don't need to leave Nigeria to work for a US company.
Exactly.
Or to work for a UK company.
Even social media influencers. We see people like Shank going to US to do skits.
I swear, all these skits makers, all of them are entering London every day. Every week they're going to London back to back. Like,
I saw like myself taking pictures in London, and it's like this is like normal now for them because obviously they've become global talents. Their talent is not just in Nigeria. The fact that they have an audience, they have markets, they have people that listen to them. I follow them. Millions of people follow them. Millions of people listen to whatever they have to say. And we've said it before. The biggest currency you can have is attention, right? Right now, if you have attention of people, you're big. So
rich.
Social media influencers, content creators, when they get attention, they can. The sky is the limit for them. So it's like this is the reality we've come to adjust to. And what do you think? Do you think that this is like this is something that's going to? I mean, going forward, we've talked about what we've noticed, right? Going forward, do you think this is going to be the reality?
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future. So do you think when you have your kids, they are more likely to be pursuing something like, hey dad, I want to be a content creator. I want to be a social
streamer.
I want to be a streamer. I want to be
speed. I should speed.
Exactly. So I think what do you think? Do you think this is more likely going to be the case?
I think yes. I mean, it's a trend, right? The purpose of a trend is like things are tilting this way.
Yeah.
So I think that trend will continue, right? So I think what we need to do is to adapt. I think in the next 10 years,
Yeah.
things will be a lot different. Like all this, even these non-traditional jobs that we are saying are non-traditional, they may be changing. I mean, now we are talking about AI is coming to take the jobs of software engineers.
Yeah.
So even the non-traditional jobs are becoming traditional.
Yeah.
So things will always continue to change. But I feel like we need to learn to adapt to these changes. We need to learn to change with the change, right?
Yeah.
So that is why I mean people should not get stuck, right? Stop doing some traditional thing. I mean, if that's what you want to do, if you are still like you're very interested in that, that's what you want to
There's
do.
still a career
for
path
it.
there, and
A
you can
career
get to
path
the
there,
top.
and it's sweet. You can get to the top. You can be born. If you're interested in something else, then don't let because you want to be quote unquote this professional.
Yeah.
Don't let that stop
Or
you.
parents' expectations. I mean,
Or your parents. I mean, I expect that nobody's listening to their parents again. I mean, that is not sounding right.
you meant it.
Listen to your parents, guys. like, okay, let me say, I expect that no parents are imposing professions on their children again, right? So the trend will continue. I believe the trend will continue. We just need to adjust, right?
Yeah.
We need to change the way we learn, right? We need to learn things on our own. Like aside from school, I mean, go to school. But aside from school, there are other places you can learn, right? For example, everything is available on the internet, right? Like you can go to YouTube and learn anything you want to learn. I mean, going to YouTube, learning from YouTube might be difficult if you don't know maybe the right videos to watch. You don't have the curation of like the content you want to watch. Then you can go for something like all these online schools. For example, if you wanted to go into tech, you can go for something like let me say Alt School, Alt School Africa, and other online schools like that. If you want to go into product design, there's Product School that you can go for, and there are also other schools for crypto, blockchain university, and I mean I want to say Oxford University. No, not Oxford University. Don't go to Oxford University, guys. Yeah, so there are schools online that you can key into for any skill you want to learn, and I encourage people to
do that now,
to do things, and I feel like it's time for people to be proactive, like be more proactive about your career. Like don't just depend on people telling you your path. Choose your path. Choose how you are going to learn it and go and learn it. Do you understand? It's your life. So that is just my advice, Sha.
Yeah. I think we had a nice conversation about it, and I think we've looked a little bit at the pros, we looked at the cons, we looked at the kind of appeal they have and what makes it appealing. You've worked remotely for the last how many years now? So
I've worked remotely basically since I finished school. I've always worked remotely. That's for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes. So imagine that's a flexibility many people cannot boast of, right? And the truth is that you wouldn't even if you get a job that is maybe slightly better than what you're doing right now, but it required you to be at the office.
To go to the office.
You find it difficult to accept that.
I'll probably not go, especially if it's in Lagos.
Exactly, because that flexibility alone is just remarkable, right? And obviously, not everyone. We still need people that are going to be in jobs, physical.
Exactly, that's it. So we still need people that will be doctors, because imagine if everybody is a crypto bro, and now someone is sick, who's going to treat the person? So we definitely still need.
But I just think people should not just follow the head mentality in that sense, because the head mentality you're following is the head mentality of a few years ago. A few years ago, everyone wanted to be doctors. Now, it just means that your paths are open. The doors are open to many things. So don't let the head mentality just push you in one direction where it could actually just be jam packed, and you might not find the fit or the solid landing you really want, especially early. I mean, I'm sure if you any career you get into and you put in the work for 20 years, you'll be doing well. But the point is now you have opportunities to be in career paths where you don't have to work for 20 years to be able to afford a car or to be able to afford basic things in life, especially on the financial point, and also just like we said on the flexibility point, the fact that can be in a career path where you can easily pivot, you can easily shift, you can easily move, you can easily, you can easily become a global talent, right? Those kind of things are perks that you have to be conscious of, as someone that's making a career choice right now, right? You have to be conscious of that. And I think I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but I think we have some takeaways already, and if it will be a good place to end it. Just to final takeaways.
Yeah, so I feel like we have said most of it. Yeah, but I mean, the summary is that traditional jobs, as we know it, are not as prestigious as they used to be for
I agree.
various reasons. And the traditional schools, are not preparing people for this new job market.
Yeah.
Right? So what the result of that is that we are having a lot of people finishing from school and not being able to secure jobs.
Yeah.
And we're also having a lot of people that are finishing from school, realizing the reality of things and then pivoting to these non-traditional jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm moving forward is like the solution is like we should try almost as early as possible to know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And go for it. Learn it in any way possible, whether it's a non-traditional job where you want to be like a content creator,
Yeah.
or even if you want to be a doctor, then go for what you want to be. But yeah, so I think that kind of like summarizes it. Yeah, that kind of summarizes it for me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, guys, and
Look forward to our next episodes of Young
hopefully
Units.
not the next quarter.
Hopefully not in 3 months.
But yeah, hopefully we'll have a nice one very soon. Thank you, guys, and see you.
All right, peace
Bye.
out, guys.